today we're going to talk how to get our designs off Tinkercad and put them on to the 3D printer slicer made by Dremel. So follow along and I'll walk you through the steps. On Tinkercad, you should have your design. This is the heart that I made in the previous video. And so you download your design, which I showed you how to do in the last video. But if you're revisiting like I am today, you just click download. And again, you want to make sure that it's an STL file. You click STL, and the STL file will download directly to your browser. And then you can just drag it to your desktop like so, or you can open it up. It's up to you. So once you have that downloaded, it's time for the next step. You're going to want to open up the Dremel software. You can download this on our website. We have a direct link to that, or go to the Dremel website. They have it there as well. And it'll download to your computer, and then you can open it up. And this is where you will change your settings and customize your print in the way that fits you. It will also connect to the 3D printer. So it translates from STL to G code, which is the language that the 3D printer understands. So with all that being said, I will go ahead and open up my Dremel Lab 3D software, and it'll look very much like this. And you will want to import your file. So go ahead and open your file up here in the top left. And this was the file that I downloaded, this beautiful heart. So I'm going to click open. And there you go. You can see what your print will look like on the build plate. So there's so much you can do using this slicer. If you click on it, you can see the measurements. If you want to make it bigger, you can change the scale of it. You can move it. You can rotate it. Maybe you want to turn it around and have it lay flat. You can mirror it. And there's so many different ways that you can view it. You can view it in solid mode, X-ray mode, and then the layer. You can also zoom in to your print if you want to see it a little bit closer. And then again, here's those different layers it shows you. You can move your print around anywhere on the build plate that you want. You can also make it bigger if you'd like. So I'm going to scale. You can see that I'm moving it, making it bigger, smaller. So there we go. I have a lot bigger of a build now. Once you have your print exactly how you want it, you're going to want to check the material. So the material that we're using is PLA, and it will be for our purposes. So make sure that you click PLA. And then of course, high quality is recommended, but you can always change that. And then the print setup has several options for you. There's recommended or custom. The recommended, you have 20% fill. That'll make your print go a little bit faster because the inside of your fill will not be so dense. And then you can move it up to 50%, 100%. Obviously, the more fill that's inside of it, the better. And so when I talk about fill, I'm talking about how it prints. So if you look at this build here, you can see the hexagons. That is the fill. So this is a 20% fill, and you can see there's lots of space. The hexagons are bigger in this build. This is an incomplete build. And then the next thing that we're going to talk about is supports, or like a raft. And so if you want to build a raft for your device, let's say you have something that is a little bit wobbly, or maybe it has like thin points and doesn't stand on its own very well, you can build a raft around the device so it sticks to the platform better. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is supports or scaffolding, and that helps lift things up. So obviously when the 3D printer prints, it prints from the bottom and it goes all the way up. So as it prints, it goes layer by layer by layer, but something like this that overhangs, you can't just print that. It needs something that's going to hold it up as it prints the solid part, and those are called supports or scaffolding. So that is usually a thin layer of the filament that lightly holds it up so it has a floor to build up on. And then in this case, you just break it off. It's very, very thin, so you can just break it off and you can use pliers for that, but that allows things that hang over the edge to have support. So something with ears, for example, you would need scaffolding or support to hold the ears up because you can't print in thin air. You do need to print on a base. So let's go back to our Dremel software, and I'll walk you through where to find these things. So we talked about the infill, and then we have generate support. That's what I'm talking about when you need extra support to hold something up, like ears or anything hanging over. You're going to want to click this. For the sake of my design, it's a flat heart. I don't have anything hanging over, so I don't actually need this. Build plate adhesion, again, is if you have something maybe round and it might wobble all over your build platform, or you have maybe a person with a very thin legs and you need a little bit more support to hold it up, then you would click this. Again, for my design, I do not need a build plate adhesion because it is flat and it doesn't need a lot of support. It already is pretty grounded in that base. So once you feel good about your design, you're going to click prepare. Once you click prepare, it'll slice it and translate it into G code. And then you just click save file. And you will save it to a flash drive that plugs directly into your machine, and you'll be able to click on that file on the machine and print. Hope this is helpful.